Hey everyone, welcome to the delayed stream. Sorry I couldn't click stream earlier. Got a phone call. It's so weird, like you're making a video early in the morning and you're like, you know what, I'm going to release it right before I join the stream. And then, while the video is playing, someone calls you. Someone phones you and then keeps talking and talking, and it's horrible. But I'm here, right? I'm glad you're here as well. Hopefully you enjoyed today's videos, and we're going to be talking a little bit about football, I guess. I never thought I would talk about football. I like talking about politics, you know? I like talking about the drama surrounding politicians. But I guess now football is political. They're going to have the presidential debate soon. On the football field. Tactical Droid, I know, it's so weird, right? Like, stream did not show up on feed. Wanna hear something funny? Like, sometimes I don't get notified of my own streams. Yeah, Tactical Droid is one of the oldest viewers that I have, I think. And is watching me every time I stream. Like, he's present, you know, every single time I'm here. And even he doesn't get notified of my streaming, so tells you a lot. I guess I could have turned off my phone. I just didn't think about it. Like, do you think I would stay with my phone turned off all day? Like, I didn't expect that someone would call me right there. Yeah, but like what they say, everything is political. Like, you need to understand the progressives. What they mean by political is they mean a power struggle, right? And when they say everything is political, they mean that they don't view a separation between your private life and your public life. So, for example, when people would say, like, they would be fighting for gay marriage, and they would say, like, what people do in their own bedroom is none of your business. What they were saying is like, that's their private life. All right? Like, it doesn't, like, you shouldn't care what someone does in their own home. And in a way, they're right. Like, what a person does in their own home is none of your business. Unless, like, they're doing some illegal things. You know, that's... But even, like, if they're doing illegal things, like, if you're thinking about it, like, if it's something illegal that it affects the public, like, if someone is making drugs in their own home, then they're going to sell those drugs in the public eventually, right? Or they're using the drugs themselves, and when they get out of their own home, they're intoxicated and they might do shit. So that's why, like, is the difference between, like, even in liberal countries where you have the difference between the private and the public, even the crimes you do in your own home, it's basically because, in a way, they affect the public. But, like, us fucking, I don't care. I don't give a shit, you know? So, that was it. But now when you say that everything is political, it means that us fucking is a highly political thing. And you can't use the argument like what people do in their own home, because everything is political. There is no privacy anymore. Of course you can clip me now. What? Why would I care? Trey, it was cringy. Don't do that again. But yeah, so yeah, they come from a private bedroom. But what I'm going with this is that if everything is political, then you don't have any privacy. And if political means that's a struggle for power, it means that there's people struggling for power to gain control of your privacy. That's pretty much what they're saying when they're saying everything is political. And you can see the fact that they're going after football. You know, like, you can't just sit down and enjoy a game of football. Like, right now, if you look at the sports news in the UK, there's very little talk about the actual football or the actual game. Everything is about racism. Everything is about, like, how evil the people are who oppressed those football players that are millionaires with evil words. I mean, it's ridiculous. But like, my favorite thing out of all of this is that now the progressives who don't watch football, and you know they don't watch football because they claim so on Twitter, like, they will say, I never watch football, but blah, 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 blah. They're lecturing football fans about how to behave, and they're basically saying that if you want to support the British team, then you have to support the player's political ideology. Like, that is the dumbest take that I have ever heard in my entire life. It's like, look, if I'm let's say like this, okay? Let's say I bet on a horse at a horse race. Just because I want that horse to be the first one across the finish line, if the horse starts spewing communism to me, doesn't mean that I would have to agree with him, right? Like, I genuinely, like, don't understand this mindset. So, like, if I support someone for, like, because this is the problem, right? Like, with progressives, they can't separate the person from the political. Like, for them, everything is political. So they don't understand the fact that, look, I can support someone for doing something while completely disagreeing with his political ideology. For example, um, I can support Bill Gates for making Windows, but I can disagree with the man entirely on his policy or whatever. Like that's the difference. Like I don't have to agree with the man's other projects. I don't have to agree with his politics. I don't have to agree with anything else he says. But I can support him for making the operating system that I use. Sadly, politics has infested sports ball in the States for some time now. Every time you turn on the game, the commentator is preaching the Marxist gospel. Oh my fucking god, like that is so horrible. Holy shit. I wonder if the commentator gets his pronouns in front of them. The sanctity of their own home was never meant to remain in the bedroom. It was changing of the God. I don't know if the people who pushed the sanctity of the bedroom argument first like were that conscientious. I think like people just pushed it more and more to the left as time went on. Because like the thing is like with the activists, right? Like I'll okay, let me explain to you how the world works. All right, I'll explain to you. Let's say you're an activist for LGBT rights, okay, and you start an NGO. Right, now you're going to get maybe some donations by some people to do your activism, right? So you're going to get like money and finances from some people in order to do what it is you're doing. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is like, okay, let's decriminalize, like in the case of Romania, right? The communists in Romania made it illegal for gay people to have sex. So the first thing you're doing is like, let's make activism in order to make this go away. Let's make activism in order to decriminalize this problem, right? So you push and eventually you get it. Now, what are you going to do? Are you going to disband the NGO? Are you going to disband like the network of people that you connect? No, you want more of the same, right? Like you want to maintain the lifestyle, so you have to look for something else. It's like, okay, let's push gay marriage now. And you're pushing gay marriage, and then you're getting it. It's like, okay, what do? Do you dismantle the NGO? No, you need to keep going, right? Because it's a good business. You're making money. It's what you do. You're good at it. So now you're like, all right, let's legalize gay adoption. And then you push for that. And then you get it. And you're like, okay, what next? It's like, well, we kind of got everything. And then you're thinking like, holy shit, yeah, we did get everything. Like, do we just disband? No, let's look for something else. Transgenderism. All right, let's go with trans people. Let's make it so that disrespecting someone's pronouns is hate speech now. Yeah, they're like, let's look for transgender bathrooms. And you keep like finding things to fight for. And eventually you reach to the point, it's like, okay, I don't know, like what else people are against? Children identifying as trans. All right, let's push for that. You know, like anyone who says that a child shouldn't be able to change their own gender is a bigot. Yeah, like that's how it works. Basically. If you can make sure that the activists have something trivial to fight for, then they're not going to fight for things that annoy the general population. Let's put it like that. That's not okay. Toshka said a few euros to support your second try for a driving license. Had to do it twice as well. Man, I don't know if I'll do it the second time. I haven't started my lessons yet. Thanks a lot. Like the lessons are very expensive. It's 20 euros a lesson. And also I have to pay for my fiance as well. But hopefully, yeah, I mean, eventually I'll get it. I'll keep at it until I get it. It's usually like you have to get like 3 months between the exams. So I still have a long time to go until I take the exam again. That's literally the ACLU. Man, it's literally any organization. All right? Like, and it's not out of malice. All right? Like, this is what I want people to understand. It's not out of malice. Like, when someone does something that they like, okay, they have passion for, they don't want to stop doing it, right? So if the person like really enjoys making marketing campaigns to raise like awareness for the marginalized group of LGBT, and they like writing blogs and they like writing these things, and it's the lifestyle that they enjoy, they don't want to stop. So even when they get what they're fighting for, then there's going to be more work to be done. Because like if they run out of work, then they run out of a business. Can't you drive without a license? Okay, you risk that. Yeah, I'm going to talk about George Floyd's memorial getting struck by lightning. It was something that I'm going to add that this week is stupid. But You know, this just goes to show that God was always a racist. Like, although we need to also look at the culprit. Like, who do you think it is? Because like it can either be God, Thor, or Zeus. Like, there's multiple culprits involved. But before we talk about that, like right now, apparently, this shit is seeping into basketball. So the chief of basketball Ireland resigns after the investigation into social media posts related to the BLM campaign. Okay, so notice he's not resigning because people don't show up to basketball games. Like, you notice a huge lack of support for basketball games, and now it's like, all right, well, who's to blame for this? It's the chief executive. Oh my God, we need to change. No, it's not that. All right. It's not that he's doing a bad job. I mean, I don't know the type of work he's doing. Maybe he's doing good work. Maybe he's doing bad work. But clearly, it's not the quality of his job that gets him fired. No, it's like one... And you don't even know if he genuinely supports or doesn't support BLM. No, it's one thing that is said on social media. I mean, this is the reality. It doesn't matter if you're good or not at your job anymore. Like, I see people that are terrible at their job and don't get fired. And I see people that are really great at their job and do get fired. For example, that Nobel Prize winner. Right? He got fired over a sexist joke. That's literally the culture that they're creating. And then it's like, what was it? Like recently, the U.S. Navy is unable to move the ships properly because, like, I assume competent people are not okay. You need to have like the people with correct opinions, not the people that know how to sail the ships properly, I guess. So the chief executive of Basketball Ireland has resigned after an investigation into a social media post related to BLM campaign last week. He posted a Facebook message, and by the way, like, here's what I don't get. All right. A person like myself, I need social media because I need to get articles to talk to you guys. But if I was like anywhere near an important job position, like the executive of the Basketball Ireland, I wouldn't touch social media with a stick. I don't give a fuck. Like, that thing is cursed, man. I wouldn't touch it. I would have let my wife touch it. I would have let my kids touch it. Like, if I see my kid on Facebook, I would punish him. I would punish him so that he gets PTSD when he grows up and he knows not to touch that shit. Like, it's dangerous. It's literally dangerous for your job. No. Do not go on social media if you have an important job offering. Like, an important job position. The only way you can go is like, A, you're anonymous. You know, you make a burner account or something. Or B, you're just going there to post puppies and kittens. Or to read other content. You don't post on social media. What the fuck is wrong with you? Especially if you're white. In this day and age. And male. My God, and cis. Holy shit, look at it. It followed England's semi-final victory against Denmark. And the comment was like, what was the comment? Oh, he said Black Lives Matter. Okay. Extremely ill-judged. Now he's fired. By the way, do you know the San Francisco Gay Man Chorus controversy? You know, they released the summer blockbuster hit song called We're Coming for Your Children. Google it. It's a good song. I don't know if you can find it, though. They removed it. It's like, we're coming for your children. Yeah, they were saying it's like they don't understand the backlash because it's a joke. Right. In this day and age, you're using that as an excuse? This guy apparently joked. This guy was making a joke. Did it stop him from getting canceled? No. Why do you think, like, if you make a joke, all of a sudden it's okay? It's not okay. Everything is political. Jokes are political. What the fuck are you doing? I mean, what is a joke? You know, you see the virgin leftist unable to understand reality that their ideology created. There are no more jokes. Everything is serious. Currently in the U.S. Navy, ask me anything. Okay, let me go to the article. I kind of think I know what happened, to be honest. If this is true, by the way, because it's reported by Team Pool. Let's see. He says the following. Navy unprepared for war because of diversity training. Navy embraces wokeness resulted in the U.S. surrender to Iran.
La fashion
Let's get past the commercials and then we're going to see what the news is about. Look at this shit. 32 minutes of Tim Pool talking. 32 freaking minutes. Navy is not ready for war because sailors are forced to focus on diversity training, with officers blaming poor leadership for destruction of warship, 2 collisions, and surrender of U.S. boat to Iran. Yeah, I'm going to ask you, how much of this is bullshit versus how much of this is legit? Now, the thing that I believe is happening is that, you know, when Joe Biden said that he's suspending, what was it, like, putting the military on hold for a couple of months to get rid of extremists or some shit? What I think is what they did is, like, they went to the officers and they wanted to see, like, which one of them posted edgy shit on Facebook. And if you posted edgy shit, you're out. So now you have, like, people that didn't have the training or the requirements to get into the position of power, like to get into the seat, and they're expected to perform as if they have the experience. That's what I think, right? Because think about it, like, if you go to a company and you fire all of the leadership, then the new people that are stepping up, like, usually, if I become the boss in a company, you get some training and you get the experience with other bosses, right? But, like, if all the bosses get fired, what the fuck do? You get put in a position and you don't know anything and you're supposed to, you know, sink or swim. Consumer inflation in the US is at 5.4% now. It's bad. It's fucking bad. And just so you know how bad it is, like, the more people on television tell you it's fine, the worse it gets. Because, like, think about it this way, okay? If things would be fine, you wouldn't need the talking head on television to tell you it's going to be fine. Like, the talking head on television would be redundant if everything is fine. But clearly it's not fine, which is why they're telling you it's fine. It actually happened in my country. We had inflation. The first sign of inflation was to see people coming on television saying there is no inflation, okay? And then when it was so obvious that there is inflation, you had people coming on television telling you, okay, there is inflation, but it's going away soon. And you had, like, all these people telling you, like, don't trade in your money for foreign currency. Don't buy land. Don't buy anything. Don't blah blah blah. Just keep up as if it's normal. It wasn't normal, by the way. Romania hyperinflation was awful. Awful. Like, imagine this, you know, you go to the grocery and you see that the bread is $1 in the morning and in the afternoon is $2. And the next day the bread is $5. You know, you still have the same amount of money in your pocket. If a talking head says everything is normal, we all know that shit hit the fan, pretty much. Give me a second so I can open the window because I'm cooking in here. I need to install an air conditioning in my room, to be honest. I got an air conditioning in my house, but every time I record, I need to close the door to my hallway because there's echo and my fiance might be walking down the corridor. Is there another stream on right now? Because I only have 100 people watching. I mean, I'm not complaining, you know, like, thank you for watching, but usually I get at least 300. So it's kind of weird. I guess I'm streaming at the wrong hour as well. It's not good. I don't think the American army is suddenly incompetent either. I don't think, like, well, you need to understand, it doesn't matter if you're a competent soldier. Okay, I mean, it does matter, but what it does matter the most is how your officers are performing. Because if you think about it, when the USSR attacked Finland, the USSR outnumbered Finland. It was like a massive force compared to Finland. But the reason they lost is because Stalin previously executed all of the military officers from the Soviet Union. So without the experienced officers, it was a shameful defeat. I mean, look at the numbers, right? You get, like, on the Finnish side, you have around 300,000 soldiers. On the Soviet side, it's double. Like they outnumbered them 2-1. The Finnish had 32 tanks, and the Soviets had 2,500 to 6,500 tanks. Look at this, like 114 aircraft for the Finnish, 3,880 aircraft for the Soviets. And look at the end, like 70,000 Finnish casualties versus around 350,000 total casualties for the Soviets. And the reason this happened, okay, like even if the Soviets managed to have like better technology, and not only better technology but more technology. I mean, look at the tanks. 32 tanks versus roughly 4,000 tanks for the Soviets. I mean, it's just... And the reason this went the way it went is because Stalin executed the officer. So he focused on politics versus how the military performed. Like we noticed this in history. It's horrible, and apparently no lesson was learned. And by the way, this is why Germany invaded the Soviets as well. Like this is one of the reasons Operation Barbarossa happened the way it happened, is because Germany saw it's like, oh my god, look how bad the Soviets are. I mean, they can't even invade the Finnish, right? They're weak. So Germany perceived the USSR as weak and attacked them. Now, obviously, that wasn't the case. Like the Soviets pushed back the Germans. But you can think about it, an alternative universe where that attack wouldn't have happened. Like how many Soviets' lives could have been saved. Like that's what happens when other people perceive you weak. Like even if you're not weak, if other people perceive you weak, then you get conflict. In a way to avoid conflict is that you have to appear to be strong and capable. The moment people think you're incompetent, even if you're not, well, I guess like actual lives are at risk. Ran across a 1972 movie with clean hands, but as Westerners, it's hard for me to follow. Also, diving into Vlad Tepes, are there any Romanian films you recommend? Only seen The Death of Mr. Lazarescu. A really good Romanian film, and if you want to understand a lot of mentality from Romania, is Philanthropicam. So look for that movie. And there's also a movie that makes fun of communism. Memories from the Golden Age. Oh, EFAP is now live. Okay, that explains. The real actual problem is that officers and enlisted, more so officers, care more about retirement than doing their job. And also everyone has a let someone else take care of it mentality. Yeah, that's very... very reminiscent of how factories were run during the Soviets. I mean, during the communist occupation in Romania. It was literally the same. Like the people in charge. Because here's the thing, right? If it's a private company, you give a huge shit about that company if it's yours, right? Like if you open your business, you really care about the business until you die, because it's your business. You built it. But under a socialist system, it's not your business. It belongs to the government. It belongs to the state. And you're just placed in charge of the business. So what you care the most is about retirement. You really care about like, okay, how can I do the minimum amount of work in order for me to get faster to my retirement years? That's how people think it. So they don't give a shit if the business fails, if production goes low. It's not their fault. If workers start stealing shit, they don't care. Why should they? It's not their business. That's one of the main reasons why the Soviet economy collapsed. One Finnish sniper was infamous. Yeah, I know. Barbarossa was a preemptive strike. Also, Germany was running out of oil. No, I know that. But I think like they had a different option. Like they could have invaded somewhere in Africa or something. But yeah, I mean, it's obvious that the Soviet Union would have invaded Europe eventually, even if Germany didn't attack. If you play, I believe, like Hearts of Iron, the grand strategy game, you get to see the same thing. Like if you play as Germany and you refuse to engage, eventually the Soviet Union comes in. Or if you don't do Operation Barbarossa, like eventually the Soviets wait for the war between Germany and the British to finish before they go in. So Yeah, and they usually attack like whomever lost the war. Sorry, whomever won the war, because they're weakened. So yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, before World War II, people still had the mentality of great empires, and it was all about conquering land. So definitely, like the Soviets would have invaded Europe if Operation Barbarossa wouldn't have happened. Just got an email. AT&T is teaming up with Amazon Alexa to make calls. Yeah, I mean that's not the big news. The big news apparently is that the Biden administration is going to fact check people's SMSs. Like if you talk about vaccines in an SMS, you're going to get a fact check. That to me is really bizarre. Like I don't understand. Like, does that mean that the government has access to your text messages? I mean, do they use AI or something? And if they use AI, does that mean like they have access to the database where people's private messages are being stored in? I mean, it's so bizarre. Like I said it in a previous stream. Like at this point, I would rather, honestly, like if it was in my country, I would rather just have the military force people out and vaccinate them by force. You know, just force them out of their home and vaccinate them. Like if you're going to breach every single privacy, every single type of human right, you're going to nag people by going door to door with strike teams, they call it. You're going to nag people about this shit. Just force them. Just force them like in China. You know, do it at gunpoint. Like it's a lot. It's a lot more humane at this point because it's like it's a very harsh measure, but then it's done. Then you did it. And not to mention, like, they keep saying it's for the greater good, right? So why would they be against it? Just do it. Just do it and then it's done, right? Like, rather than, like, this little drop-by-drop authoritarian bullshit. Are you surprised that they do? I'm surprised that they don't pretend that they're not. Let me see the news. Silence. So, critics slam Biden administration's reported plan to monitor vaccine misinformation and fucking text messages. Like, well, what else are you going to do? Well, why not? Okay, why not install cameras in restaurants and bars? Like under every table, put a bug, and whenever someone spreads misinformation over the pint of beer with Father O'Malley, then they should appear. Like the men in black should come up. It's like, you're spreading misinformation, citizen. Did you know that vaccines are deemed safe by the CDC and the World Health Organization? Click on the blue check mark for more information. Do you know, like, that? What was his name? Freedom Comics actually made a joke like that. That you're going to be in a restaurant and you're going to be talking with someone, and all of a sudden you get like people dressed in suits telling you about how you're pushing misinformation and shit like this. The White House has decided. Can you imagine it? Oh my god! Like I really hate saying this, but like every single time, it's like, can you imagine if Trump would have done it? Like, no, seriously, can you imagine? Like I remember that during the Trump administration, that he actually had like this thing that existed in Romania, and he wanted like every single person to get notified on their cell phone about whatever important message there. Okay, but hold on, I'm having a brain freeze, right? So in Romania we have this system called Raw Alert, and Raw Alert, like, your phone starts buzzing with a very annoying sound, and it tells you like, alert, bad weather incoming, stay indoors, or alert, earthquake, or something like that. You know, like it's usually for very rare situations. Now, they wanted to do the same in the United States. So in the case of an emergency, the U.S. president could send a text message to everyone on their phone. And the media, as well as Democrats, call that fascism, right? Because, like, sending a text to people's phone is fascism for some reason. I don't fucking know how, but apparently it's fascism. Okay, how the fuck is this not fascism? Like, you're doing the same thing. You're sending people an information on their own fucking phones. But not only that, you're spying on people. So the White House has decided to crack down harder on misinformation and scare tactics after Republican lawmakers and conservative activists pledged to fight the administration's stated plan to go door to door. Oh yes, the Jehovah Witness scenario. Like, my fucking God, who on earth? I know who it is, actually. It's a social scientist, right? A social studies scientist. Like, someone that studies human behavior. All of these people are fucking communists, and the only way they know how to persuade people to do shit is by authoritarian measure. That's it. Like, they don't know any other way. They only know the stick. They don't know the carrot. So the only way... Like, look, I'll tell you how you can get people vaccinated. Very simple, okay? You get vaccinated, you get put in a lottery. Winner gets $1 million. You do that every week. Every fucking week. Give it... Because they paid more money to influencers, by the way. I guarantee to you, people will line up for that shit. Every single week. You know what? One of the lucky people that got vaccinated gets $1 million. I will get more people vaccinated with that shit than the government will. Instead of giving like $50 million to a rapper in order to virtue signal about how good vaccines are, because he wouldn't do that if he doesn't get paid. Give that solution a try. Whatever, you know, just fine. The Jehovah Witness scenario, right? Where you go door to door to people, hey, have we told you about the glory of the World Health Organization and how nagging doesn't work? Who the fuck gives in to nagging nowadays? My God, like, do these people not have families? Do they not have wives? Or husbands? I don't know, like, maybe husbands nag in California as well. I don't want to be a sexist, you know? Or maybe there's a woman that identifies as a husband. Fuck do I know? But like, the more you nag, the more people close down. It's going to reach the point, if they keep this up, it's going to reach the point where people will refuse to do it out of spite. Even if they 100% know it's safe and they need to get it or they die, they'll be like, you know what, I'm spiting you. Oh my God, like, other nations don't do this, okay? Other nations do not recur to these tactics. Holy shit, $100 for Jean-Sebastien Maté. I pronounced his name properly. Thank you so much, though. Here for your driving lessons. So that's like 5 driving lessons. My God. If I don't take the exam, I'm going to feel bad. I'm going to be like, you know what? Jean-Sebastien Maté gave me money. I have a song for Jean-Sebastien Maté. There's no Canada like French Canada. It's the best Canada in the land. And the other Canada is bullshit Canada. If you lived there for a day, you'd understand. Drop by drop authoritarianism is the best way to avoid normies becoming annoyed enough to do something. They can just wait for everything they implement to become normal before they push a bit more. Yeah, no, absolutely, man. I remember when you had what was her name? Let me show you something. So you had this lady, Ellen Powell. Powell. So Ellen Powell was the CEO of Reddit, right? And my God, did people not dislike her back in 2016? Like, people really, really disliked her. And do you know why people disliked her? Why people disliked the Powell? The reason people disliked the Powell was because she implemented censorship on Reddit. Can you imagine that? Like, Reddit censoring? Like, Reddit used to be the free speech website of the internet, right? Like, if you heard it about news, you read it first on Reddit. That's how they advertised themselves, like. And she was the first that actually started censoring, and she started shadow banning, right? And people freaked the fuck out. People freaked out so much that eventually, you know, they found a reason in order to get her fired. Like, she picked on a mod that was beloved by the community. But I know a lot of people that didn't give a shit about that mod. They just wanted her gone, so they pretended that they're outraged because of something they weren't. Just to add to the pressure, to get her sacked, right? Do you think that today Powell would get any criticism if she took over any social media company? It's like, yeah, she's censoring, okay. Man, I mean, it's social media, they censor. That's what they do, right? So it's very shocking. It's shocking to see just how people, like, reacted to authoritarianism back in the day versus how they react now. Like, back in the day, people freaked out over this. They were like, what do you mean? Like, So you say something legal and the Reddit removes it? What is this nonsense? And nowadays it's like, the ideology of the billionaires is corporate communism. I like to call it woke capitalism. I should make a video about it. By the way, what are you doing to prepare for the coming crisis? Can't see all of the things happening ending in a bad place. So the thing that I'm doing, I mean, I'm not preparing for the crisis, but what I am doing is I made a loan and I bought this house, and right now this house is double in price. Hopefully I'll manage to pay my loan, and then if things go really really bad, then I can sell my house back for higher and I can move in a smaller apartment. So that's what I can do. Other than that, I don't know. And YouTube should do an ad where a hot girl has vaccines injected in her titties. 100% of the population would be vaccinated in a week. Okay, no, actually, here's the thing. All right, I read the study. Maybe like the thing is, like, I don't make videos about vaccines because of the sensitive topic, right? But I read the study that so the largest group of people, apparently one of the largest groups of people in the United States who haven't vaccinated yet are black people. All right, so I guess in order to reach that segment of the population, you would have to get like I don't know, black pastors and black community members to talk with their communities and to explain it better to them. Maybe like that's how they could do it. But if you're talking about how you can get right-wingers to vaccinate, do you know what actually worked? Because they tried a lot of different tactics. And do you know the tactic that worked? Let's see in the chat. How do you think you can get like hardcore Trump supporters to get the vax? What do you think? What do you think people told? What did the experts tell the right-wingers in order to get the vax? As all great communists say, the situation has been normalized. Oh my god, I love that. Yes, when they go back into the tanks, they normalize the situation. Money, no. Not money. Free jelly donuts, no. Alright, so the chat doesn't know. The chat is stumped. Trump says to get it. No, because they know like Trump authorized the vaccine, so that's not. Bugs apparently watched by previous streams, so he knows. Makes the PP bigger. Orange man approved. No. So what they found out, right? Like for the liberals, as long as it comes from like an institution, and they will say, well, the CDC approved it or the World Health Organization approved it, they're fine, right? So for left-leaning people, it's the power of the institution. So you need to tell them that this institution vetted for it, right? Like this institution said it's safe, and then they take it. For right-wingers, apparently that doesn't work. So what you need to do, like what they found the most success is to be had, is that if they go to the communities of right-wingers and they tell them, look, there's positives and negatives, and really we don't know. I mean, we haven't run like 30-year-long tests, so it might have like some bad side effects, but like at the end of the day, we don't know. But what we do know is that it's effective against the virus and it's not going to get you sick. I mean, there's potential side effects, you know, whatever. Like, be honest with them, basically. Like, if you're genuinely honest to the people there and you tell them exactly all of the information and you're not hiding details and you're not trying to censor them and you're not trying to, you know, like, because they can smell the PR bullshit. Okay, if you're not trying to car salesman them, basically, they will take it. Like, imagine that. Imagine, like, being honest. Going to people and not lying and telling them exactly the way it is more likely to convince them to go, like, than if you omit information and you censor and you punish people who disagree with you. Fucking hell. Yeah, just give them the entire nuance. That's pretty much it. Yes, I mean, just be honest. Literally. Honesty is a radical tactic, I know. And you also need to go with the mindset that you're not going to get 100% compliance. Like, it's impossible. Like, I don't even think in China or in North Korea you get 100% compliance. There are always going to be people that don't want to. So either you force them or you ignore them. Honestly is weakness? Honesty is weakness. Yeah, I get. Treat them like adults. Yes. Told them it immunizes against socialism. Then they would line up their kids, I guess. Get it or we'll release your browser history. Oof. Honesty is anti-government. Yeah, like the New York Times. I loved it. The New York Times made an article saying that the people in Cuba are rebelling and they're chanting for freedom. Yeah, they're chanting liberty, freedom, and other anti-government slogans. I loved it, right? So the people in Cuba are rising up and they're chanting liberty, freedom, and other anti-government slogans. Now, a lot of people, okay, they mocked the New York Times and they said, oh my God, the New York Times, how can you say liberty and freedom is anti-government? No, that's not the problem, because they're right, okay? Like in Cuba, because they're talking about the Cuban government, right? Liberty and freedom is against the communist ideal, because the communist ideal is equality, it's not liberty and freedom. No, that's not the point. The point is that they were chanting liberty and freedom, and the New York Times, by saying other anti-government slogans, was trying to hide the fact that the most chanted slogan there was death to communism. That's what literally every single video that I have seen with Cubans, that's what they were shouting. Death to communism. And then you have in the US, you got Democrats, and I think like Biden was saying that the reason the Cubans are rising up is because the government was incapable of giving them vaccines. And Bernie Sanders was saying that the reason they're rising up is due to US sanctions. So because the United States is boycotting Cuba, like they have their vaccine, like they already invented the vaccine, but they don't have syringes. And it's like, motherfucker, if the US boycotts you, is like the US the only economy in the world? Like, can't you do business with China? Can't you do business with Iran? Like, why are socialist nations depending on the United States for everything? Like, is it the US's job to help like these upstarting socialist nations? Like, I don't get it. I thought it's a better economic system. If it's a better economic system, then it should be the US that would be scared of Cuba boycotting it, not the other way around. Should we tell the Cubans how the Americans are doing? No. By the way, like I seen yet again, mysteriously, by the way, just like in Hong Kong during the protests, I see the Cubans flying the American flag. I think Mr. Kaepernick might be a little bit upset. You know, like someone called the Cubans, tell them they're flying a hate symbol. Look at this. Notice how no leftist publication is pointing it out, but yeah, I mean, protesters in the United States burned the US flag, a symbol of freedom, liberty, and justice. Protesters in Cuba fly the American flag and are willing to die for freedom, liberty, and justice. Yeah, someone should tell them that, hey, you know, like the American flag is evil. Look at this, huh? Huh? Guerrillas came from Cuba. Young boys sent to die for the Soviet master plan. Anyway, right, maybe I shouldn't be singing anti-communist songs right now because I'm still on YouTube, right? Cubans have white privilege? Are Cubans white? You know what's really interesting about the Cuban Revolution? Is that it's coming during the Far Cry 6. Maybe they can overthrow communism. They can overthrow communism exactly on the day that Far Cry 6 launches. You know what? Like this actually makes me want to watch the trailer again. Let's watch the trailer together.
It's beautiful, Migo. Perfect, but useless.
Oof.
I have something for you, Diego. Give me your hands.
Papa.
Now, the grenade is simple. It has 4 basic parts. The shell, which contains the explosive, the fuse, the handle, and of course, the pin.
What are you doing?
Breathe, Diego. Breathe. The pin simply holds the handle in place. It is only when you let go that this grenade goes boom. Follow me. Now. I am El Presidente.
By the way, notice how in the trailer there's literally no communist symbol. Like there's no hammer and sickle, there's no red, there's nothing like that.
Which means that someday you will be El Presidente. And our people, they do not know how to be happy. They are torn apart by...
Okay, I saw red. Fascista. Oh yes, they're fighting fascists. Abajo la dictadura. Viva liberté. Right? They're not chanting death to communism though. They're not doing that like in reality. All right.
Opinions, noise, indecision.
Oh, what is this? They're asking for free speech. Oh my God! Like no censura. Look.
Noise, indecision, strangled by their own freedoms.
See, the El Presidente is being a dumbass. Like what he needs to do is to control the private companies and get the private companies to censor. And then it's not from the government. Then people can't complain because it's my private company, can do whatever it wants, right? Like that's the correct way of dealing with things.
And even if you have love in your heart, even if you want what's best for them, if you only want to save them from themselves, they will hate you, Diego. Everything you say, do, believe, will be wrong.
He feels like Donald Trump, doesn't he?
They will answer you with screams, call you evil, a monster, and give you this. So you tell me, are you evil? Are you a monster? Because our country is like this grenade, except it has 2 basic parts. Our people and you must clutch them nice and tight, or we all go boom. Do you understand now? Prove it.
Yeah, I'm a little bit excited about this game. Final form of communism is corporate communism. Do it. What was the song you just sang called? I'm not telling you. I'll get in trouble. Based speech. Oh my god, like Tactical Droid, your fascination with communists astonishes me. Cuba is more socially stable than the United States. Yeah, I mean, when people unite against a tyrannical government, I guess. Anyway, right, I need to go to bed now. My fiance is a little bit upset because I'm talking too loud, and she's got an exam tomorrow. So, thank you, everyone. Thank you for the donations, especially. Thank you for the $100, Jean Sebastian Mate. Let me see if I can. Oh, I already gave you a wrench. Hopefully, you guys were entertained by this stream. And tune in tomorrow because I got some great videos coming up. Take care.